Welcome, Tenno, to the Hot Dog Juice Show. My name is Sunrind, your gracious host, and today we're going to be talking about the Punisher build with Harrow in mind. So, as we get into this, Harrow is a wonderful character in my opinion. He's a great support, damage, player character. As you can see in this build, basically, the aura doesn't really make any much sense to have energy siphon. You can put what you feel like is there, but this is the main build. So we're going to start out with narrow-minded, blind rage, fleeting expertise, overextended, and those are the corrupted mods. So basically, they're all maxed out, and it sounds crazy, but this is a very well-balanced build. We got also our prime flow, our prime vigor, and then of course our redirection to get lots of shields for his second ability, his penance ability. Prime continuity is in there just to increase all the overall duration. And then we got our arcane guardians so that we can have a little bit more tankiness when we're taking damage, because Harrow has a lot of shields, and for some reason it kind of affects his shields that way. You do notice that there is a 3-form build there, so it's going to take a little bit to get this build exactly. Alright, so for his skill setup, you're mainly going to, this whole build's mainly to keep your number 1, using that a whole bunch. And once you've gotten enough of that, then you go and use it up on your second ability. Thus, it gets rid of all your shields and it gives you this huge, nice buff of lifesteal and attack speed. And then you use Covenant, and then on top of that, then you use a Thrimble, so that way you can stand there, take a lot of damage, make a buff, so that way you can be doing energy, and so forth. And then from there, you go basically rinse and repeat 1, then 2, and 4, and then 3, basically. Is kind of how the build works. Alright, for starters, why did I name this build the Punisher build? Mainly just because how the build works. So basically, I'm just going to go over the skills for you again. Condemn kind of like locks people down so that way you can punish them, or, deal damage to them, kill them. Get rid of your enemy targets that are your threat, and then because every single enemy you chain down gives you shields, thus your penance can be used, and you'll get 100, maybe somewhere between, 83 to 115 seconds worth of duration. And you remember, once you use penance and it has all this duration in that time frame, you get a big huge bubble of life steal for whatever you deal damage to, and straight up, I think even just can get your allies' reload speed, but in case you have fire rate and reload speed yourself increased. So it is really nice to have him have penance on all the time, because of the fact that, more speed is more better for more killing. So third ability kind of makes sense. It's an energy getting ability, so more enemies you kill, the more energy you do. So the longer you have it out and use up a ton of energy, the more energy you get back in return for your kills. Covenant is another make sense sort of thing. So you do use Covenant before you even use Thrimble, and it gives you an opportunity to just stand there and take a bunch of damage, and thus redirecting it back into a pool basically for a buff for everybody to use if they're in the vicinity to get damage, critical damage increase. And then basically, like I said, rinse and repeat. So I just feel like it's very much like a give and take sort of thing. Harrow himself was already built and coded out to be this way, but this build for me gives me a well-balanced build. There's a lot of duration, thus giving you a lot of time to be able to have fun with whatever weapon you want, a shotgun, a sniper rifle, a freaking status explosion weapon, whatever you want. And so this is the reason why I love this build, and in fact, on top of that, I just love Harrow. So, with that in mind, what do you think of this build? I hope it is good. I hope it gives you an idea for a new build for yours, or maybe you just use this one. Doesn't really matter. I really want to thank everybody who watches these videos, and especially if you're watching it up to this point, thank you very much. And I want to thank D&D for making a wonderful game and being able to actually talk about stuff that I like to play. Alright, with this in mind, thank you so much for listening to me, Tenno, and we'll talk to you on a later date. Have a good one.